How are you today?
I'm good, man. How are you?
It's getting through the days. I can't complain.
Yeah, same.
Well, Doc Holliday, this character, I have to start by asking, how do you do the voice? Because it is slightly different from what I hear most of the time. It's slightly different from your day-to-day voice. Does that take? Do you step into that?
Yeah, 100%. This was one of those roles that just as an actor I had inside me without being cliche or sounding cliche like that. Even the voice, because I cannot do accents. Anyone who knows me knows I can't do accent. I remember trying to do an Australian accent once, and Dominique Prevost-Shockley, who plays Waverly on Wynonna Earp, was trying to help me. And I practiced for about 4 or 5 days, and then I just called my agent and said, "This is not happening. I cannot. British, I can't do. Australian, I can't do." But the Doc Holliday cowboy drawl has just always been there. It's just always been there. Yeah,
I had one of the fans ask in that tweet that you shared. Thank you very much.
yeah.
They asked, do you have a routine that you use to get back into character? Or, from my perspective, just looking at you guys getting ready, does the costume and makeup routine get you ready?
Yeah, it's this helps a lot. It takes about 3.5 months to grow the mustache, and look, throughout this quarantine, even not knowing how long it was going to be, I just couldn't shave, just in case. I didn't think we were coming back in a month or anytime sooner than that. But 3 months, I didn't know, especially when it first happened. There's just no way I can shave because I can't. You know, it doesn't take a couple of weeks to grow that mustache. So once I show up on set and we kind of turn this beard into the mustache, I can kind of start feeling Doc Holiday. But then when I put that hat on, I strap those two freaking 6 shooters on my waist. It's pretty hard not to kind of step into that character. Those guns are heavy too, so it kind of gives me this, people say, "Oh, you have this real stagger when you when you're playing Doc." It's just because they're heavy. Those guns, they're weighing me down.
I love too that Doc and a lot of the main guys in the show are often frenemies to the leading women.
Yeah.
Is that is that a fun angle to be playing? Because obviously these guys are complicated, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, Doc is one of the most complicated characters on the show. He's one of the characters you could take to the dark places that I think the audience will forgive if he does some of those dark things. Whereas those other characters, I don't know if they could do those things, and it would go over as well. But Wynonna Earp is a very flawed character herself, which I adore. And Doc Holliday and her, I think that's a lot of their common ground is in that their flaws and their weaknesses, which kind of makes them lean on each other to be strong.
And I love that moment at the end of the last episode where she's like, "You suck," and how'd it taste?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, season 3 turning into a vampire. When I found out it was happening, I thought it was going to be. I was so excited. I just thought it was going to be super fun, and then I realized, oh, actually, it's really dark storyline this year. So I had to kind of prepare my switch gears mid-season.
Michael is actually supposed to join us now, and he's just over there.
Yeah.
Shall I bring him in too?
Yeah, I haven't seen Mikey in forever, so bring him on in. Is that a White Russian?
Yes.
You're looking for greatest. Who are you, the Big Lebowski? You're the dude.
Dude. What are you guys doing?
Missing you.
Well, Michael, I'll go to you now. We were just chatting about the show, of course. I'm kind of curious for you. This show seems to have a lot of frenemies, a lot of flawed characters. What's it like playing this guy? Because he goes out with a bang at the end. I love his thank you at the end before he falls face down in the dirt. What's it like playing this guy?
It's been every season's interesting. every season's different for Bobo. I think Tim can agree. The birth of Bobo from season 1 to season 3, he's taken on a lot of different coats, as we should say. So from one season to the next, it's just been a wild ride to see what the writers are going to do with Bobo next. So if you pay attention closely, you can see that from season 1 to season 3, it's been a slow decline of Bobo's mental state. So he starts off very strong and powerful at the beginning, and then by the end of season 3, he's just a pale version of what he once was.
And I assume, is that partly because when he's brought back, he's not as much of him is brought back, essentially, or something?
Well, he's just he's had a hard time. He's had a hard time. It's been a tough road for old Bobo. You know, he once had a lot of friends. Now he has nothing. Also, you know, there's a lot. Bobo, I consider one of the mystery characters. He's one of the characters in the show that have a lot of the answers that slowly unfold as the show goes on. You know, the history of the Earps, his connection with Doc, their relationship when they go back in time. You see Robert Spain and Doc Holliday's relationship. That was one of my favorites. To see the beginning of the creation of Bobo. You know, the relationship between him and Doc when he was Robert Spain, him being, you know, more of a meeker character compared to season 1, episode 2, when he becomes Bobo. Yeah. And then from there on, it's just downhill. It's being stuck. It's tough being stuck in the triangle.
Well, what do you guys?
It's kind of like quarantine. It's kind of like quarantine right now.
True.
Everybody's experiencing what Bobo feels like every day. He can't leave. He can't really leave the border. He has to stay there, and he's slowly going crazy. There you go.
What do you guys think of? What are some of your favorite relationships from the show? Because they all have a couple of relationships, but even maybe outside of who you play, what are some of your favorite kind of relationships on the show?
Oh gosh, there's so many. Anything with Tim in it, for one. I can watch Tim act all day long. Because if you watch his work, and him and me work very similar. If you put him in any scene with any other character, there's a different relationship going on every time. Right? Put him in a scene with Wynonna, there's that. You got him with Waverly, there's a whole different relationship. There's different sides to the Doc character. So I love seeing Tim do anything with any character. But then there's like the new characters, like Nedley. I love watching his relationships with everyone. You know, he's become this like father figure. You know, I never saw that developing as it was going on, and now it's a huge surprise. I really like where they're going with that character. With Bobo, I love the relationship with him and Waverly. You know, that's for me, that's my favorite. And then as well with Doc, which we wait to have scenes together because we have so much fun blasting off each other. But we don't get to do it enough. But who knows?
Hopefully,
what about you?
next
Yeah,
season, maybe.
I would have the same answer as for Mikey. I mean, same. It's literally the same, exactly the same. I love watching Michael work. I just love it, and selfishly, I want more scenes with him. But my favorite scenes watching Mikey work is the Waverly Bobo scenes. And the best part about that is I'm never there those days, you know, because if I'm not in a scene with Waverly and Bobo, I ain't around. So I get to see those later, and throughout the seasons, I do find Bobo's declined mentally in some ways, but there was also by season 3 the relationship of Waverly and Bobo's got into such a really needed to got to an amazing place. You know, like so many discoveries there. And he almost acted as a guide to Waverly, which is crazy a bit.
In the beginning, yeah.
Yeah. And then my other favorites relationships are obviously, you got to give it to Way Hot. You got to give it to these girls. It's not just because it's a thing and it's Way Hot. I mean, they got chemistry, man, from the
I was
first
gonna
moment. Yeah,
but I thought,
no, of course, because everybody automatically you'd think there's so much love that's got to go there, but it's well earned. Their chemistry is amazing. They kill it. Also for me, my scenes with Mel. Give me my scenes with the Doc and Wynonna stuff. I just love. But recently, my favorite's been the Jeremy Wynonna scenes because I find he's starting to get a little backbone now, and he's starting to stick up for himself because Wynonna, she could push you around in the beginning if you show a little weakness, and and I think Chetri's starting to hold his ground and fight back. Nice to get some little quips out of Jeremy.
You have to. Melanie's such a powerhouse.
Yeah,
an actor. So if your character is built in a way where you're in a scene where you're supposed to be controlling it or powering the scene, you really have to step up your game and work with Melanie, because she's a force.
Yeah,
she's the reason why she's Wynonna Earp.
Yeah, she's a real deal, that one. Stefano is no joke.
I love that Emily is such a force for the show. Her presence on Twitter and social media, and obviously a leader for this show. What's it like working with her? And what do you have a story or a moment with her that you think summarizes maybe what she does for the show?
She does everything for the show. She is the show.
Yeah.
It all comes from her imagination. Like, I'd love to just crack that head open and see what spills out. This is my perception of working with Emily, is that she's open to any idea. Whether you're an actor, you're a crew member, you're anybody. If you're throwing out an idea, she may not use it, but she always listens to it, because there might be one little grain of gold in there that she can spin and use that. And she's always open to ideas. And that I love about Emily. She'll always listen. And sometimes your ideas work and sometimes they don't. But she has a clear vision of where it's going at all times. Whether she knows it or not, that's how it comes off. And so you have to have that too, to have somebody that you trust and know that. Because you'll get a script and be like, oh boy, where's Bobo going with this? Oh, I don't know if now it makes sense, because 2 scripts later, she's already seen the future and knows where it's going before we do.
What about you, Tim? What would you say?
Yeah, so many. I mean, she's so smart, man. She's one of the smartest people I've ever met. And I love that. If you ever see us at a panel, there's like Emily Andras and then the rest of us, because her answers are she's incredible. I could watch her all day. Every season she calls me and she says, where would you like Doc to go? She asks me every year. I tell her the same thing every year. I say, look, man, I'm in your hands and I trust you, whatever you want, but I still get that call every year. Yeah. What ideas do you have? Where would you like to see the character going? Every year I tell her the same thing. Look, I trust you. Do your thing. She always listens. She always wants ideas. She's, you don't get that from your showrunner.
You don't.
You really don't. So she's one in a million. She's great.
Yeah, a lot of people probably don't know. You don't get a lot of say where your character is going as you're shooting the show, but Emily's always open to
and also, if you do need to reach her, the only way is social media. That's literally the only. I've learned that. If you need to talk to Emily, I send her a message on Twitter. I'll get her.
My messages are still.
She's a very busy lady. Pardon? Yeah,
my messages are still unread. But
you got to go into Twitter.
I'm teasing. She always checks them. She always gets back to me.
I love that HOMECon is bringing you guys to fans in a different way, and when we can't do anything else, that's a big deal. What's it like? Maybe you haven't done anything for it yet, but what are you kind of expecting to get out of this opportunity, I guess?
Well, this is my second one. This is my second one. Paul Amos and Rachel and I actually worked together on Lost Girl, which was an Emily Andras show. So that's where I had the pleasure of meeting them. And they they called me about a week into quarantine and told me they had this idea of this convention and if I wanted to do it. and they said they were giving 10% to the first responders. And my initial reaction was, it was so soon that it's like, I don't know if this feels right to be doing this, or like if without giving back, or what am I doing here? So I donated 100% of proceeds to Canada Helps. So everything from HOMECon 1 went to Canada Helps, and the people at Canada Helps for the people of the first responders and the people who have to be out there. And the reason I did that is because it's like you said, I've been living the Bobo life, and I'm not a guy who lives the Bobo life, and I'm feeling helpless and powerless. So the only way that I felt I could get a little power back was to give back to the people who are actually helping in this moment and making things better, as opposed to the people who are doing things they shouldn't be doing. So that's why I did that. And I love that 10% is going to the first responders this time again. And Mikey will experience, but getting to talk to people for 2 days straight was actually really great too. It's going to be good for the soul. He's probably, you forget how much human interaction is great. And look, I'm so happy I get to see Mikey's face. You have no idea.
I know.
So for 2 days straight, I'll be talking to Earpers, and anybody who knows anything about Earpers knows how beautiful and great they are. So it's a great experience.
My answer to that is, this is an opportunity. This is my first one. Tim's done one. I think the rest of the cast. I'm new, so this is all new to me. But what I thought about it, like you, is this a good idea? Like, what's the morality of the situation and what's going on with the pandemic? And I figured this is an opportunity for any Earper in the world. They don't have to get on an airplane. They don't have to put themselves up in a hotel. It's really hard to do that. Some people can't do that. This is an opportunity to stay at home, and we can meet anyone in the world in one time, and we don't get to do that. It's kind of like an Earth convention, planet Earth convention, and you don't have to leave your house. So I'm really excited to meet anyone who's willing to, be there and meet anyone from anywhere around the world. Because there's lots of places I haven't been. Tim's been, you guys have been around the world. There's a lot of places I haven't covered, so I'm really excited to meet those people. And me and Tim, we just love meeting the fans too. And that's our favorite part.
Yeah, it's so many. It's funny too. It's so many that I know too. I meet them right away, and I'll see their face, and I probably most likely don't know their name, but I 90% definitely know their Twitter. Their Twitter name,
handles.
Which is weird. I know their social names, but never their names. It's always, you're Nedley's office. Oh, of course. But if they told me
And
their
their
name,
face, and their face,
and their face and their Twitter name, 100%. Real names, no.
Okay, I have two last quick questions because I asked the fans to give a couple questions. For you, Tim, Doc runs through the snow barefoot in a tank top in season 3. And they asked kind of, how did you survive that scene, basically?
Wait a minute. Tim ran barefoot in the snow wearing a tank top and bare feet? No pants?
Yeah.
No pants? No nothing else?
I assume he's got pants. What do you say, Tim?
I'm going to take a wild guess and say this was from at either Doc Stash or at Miss Millie Guns was the person who asked that question.
It was Doc Stash, actually.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anytime there's partial nudity involved, it's got to be a Doc Stash question. I didn't know feet were a thing.
How did you survive it, Tim?
Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. I love that stuff. I'll do anything. Calgary running through the snow. I just found out that I was tied to a stripper pole in a tour bus. My ex-wife came back and she's a vampire, and I escape out of the hatch and run through the snow, shooting at her.
Oh, this is the show.
Yeah. No, this isn't a show. You read this, you film this. This is a great day at work. Who doesn't want that day at work?
I heard stripper pole.
Yeah. Sign me up.
Amazing. For you, Michael, one of the questions was, if people had, if your character could have a horse, what would you name your horse?
My character could have a horse?
A horse.
A horse. Yeah, Bobo knows how to ride a horse. I'm sure he does. Sheesh, put me on the spot with that one. If Bobo had a horse, he would name it Willa. It would be Willa 2.
Sounds like a winner.
He'd name his horse after his first love. Swan's made for life, right? Willa 2, the horse.
Well, thank you guys very much. I really appreciate the time. I hope you have fun with HOMECon. Good luck, and I hope to see you guys someday on the other side.
Yeah,
Someday.
Pleasure, absolute pleasure.
It's going to be better than ever. I think.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day.
You guys.
Okay, ciao. Bye, Mikey.
Bye, buddy.